Last season, Manchester City won everything, including pipping us to the post when it came to winning the Premier League title. Today, we play them in the Community Shield to give us a good idea of where we stand this season and how good our summer transfers were, because we have had a few interesting transfers, including the departures of 2 attacking midfielders and, of course, 2 new ones coming in to replace them. Hello and welcome to part 168 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have the Community Shield at Wembley against Manchester City. But first, we're going to look at those summer transfers, including the departure of 2 attacking midfielders. Now, obviously, one of them is Jim McAllister, because he let us down. The other one, though, don't worry, it's not Nuhu. There you go. That's as much suspense as I can do. So these are our summer transfers. So the players that have left. Newcastle, we have absolutely mugged them into giving us £11 million for the man who cost us the title. So Jim McAllister goes to Newcastle. Gallego, who we signed and then never really played. He's been with us for ages and we never gave him an opportunity. He's gone on a free transfer. Erhan has also left. He got in a right hissy fit over the summer, threw his toys out the pram, wanted a new contract, wanted me to guarantee him as a key player, wanted a 6-figure weekly wage. And I just thought, you know what? By this point, we'd already signed another attacking midfielder to replace McAllister. I think, Erhan, you're probably our 4th choice attacking midfielder at this point. Get lost. Napoli gave us more than we paid for him after what was a very uninspiring season. So Erhan has left the club as well. Jack Naylor has gone to Hibernian. And we also, oh, that's the wrong thing. We've also released a couple of players as well. Taylor Flynn has been released and retired. Dennis Jensen has also been released. It saddens me that Dennis Jensen is gone. Obviously, that first season he was with us, which is now three seasons ago, he was incredible, scoring more than a goal every other game, but broke his leg towards the end of that season. Wasn't the same man when he came back the next year. Spent the next 18 months on loan at Rangers, where he only managed an average rating of 6.66, 4 goals in 35 appearances in Scotland for Jensen. He is not the same man anymore. We've released him on a free. He's going to go and play for Nice in France. Lazic has also gone on a free transfer. He just never really turned into the player we were looking for. So he's gone. Paul Blake is gone. And then a couple of youngsters are gone as well. So, bit of a clear out, a £28 million. I think we've cleared out a lot of the deadwood there and brought in some absolute superstars to replace them. And we still have another £18 million to spend. There might be one more transfer before the transfer window closes in 5 days' time. But transfers so far, we have a new striker, Iker Alonso, 22-year-old Spanish under-21 international striker who can also play as an attacking midfielder or on either wing. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. He's not as good as Jones or Kerr, but he played a full season in La Liga last year for Athletic Bilbao. 12 goals from 35 appearances. I mean, it's not disastrous. It's fine. He's an improvement on Lazic. I still expect our first choice this season to be Kerr and Jones, unless one of them has a massive drop in form or ends up leaving before the window closes. But we finally have a proper option to compete with Jokic. And I think we've got 4 half-decent strikers now, although Jokic obviously still needs to prove himself. Samuel Maestra is another Spanish under-21 international, 23-year-old attacking midfielder. This is the guy who'd already come in, and I thought, you know what? Erhan, get lost. We've got this guy to come in and replace you. He can also play as an accomplished striker or central midfielder, which is something Erhan couldn't do. He was very much a one-position man. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. Not as good as Fernandez. Apparently as good as Nuhu. And what's this? We've signed another attacking midfielder. This one could end up being signing of the summer. I don't know how I'm going to get Nuhu in the side this year. And I know the comments towards the end of last season were all telling me, play Nuhu. We had a £35 million offer for Nuhu, and I turned it down just because I didn't want you lot to pick on me. I think if I was playing this offline without you lot watching, Nuhu would have been sold in the summer, because I think this guy is going to be the man. Abel Esteban, 28-year-old full Spanish international. 3.5-star current ability. He's been rotting away in the Man City reserves for the last 6 seasons, but they did spend an awful lot of money for him, £34 million, when he was a bit of a superstar at Porto for 3 seasons. Was also previously at Atletico Madrid, where he never broke into the team either. But if he can recapture the form he had when he was at Porto, we've got a superstar on our hands. He's 28 and didn't cost us anything. We've still got Fernandes, we've still got Nuhu, plus the new guy Maestra. We're set for attacking midfielders. I think McAllister and Erhan have definitely both been upgraded. Lazic has been upgraded as well. So the first 3 of those transfers, definite upgrades. This one, probably my mistake of the summer, Axel Scholes. I've had this guy on my shortlist for about 3 seasons. He's got 99 caps for Argentina, but he is 33 years old now. He's a central midfielder. He's only got 2.5-star current ability now, so he's officially our 6th best attacking midfielder. Better in central midfielder, better than Nuhu in that position, but not as good as Ashley Hayes. I've brought him in for experience, really. Look at all those Premier League games he's played for Chelsea. I say he's a mistake, but he's a mistake in the same way Taylor Flynn was, i.e. not really, because he can come in, do a year of tutoring. He's not going to expect to play week in, week out. He's on a rotation contract. He's relatively cheap for all that experience. And straight away, he's gone tutoring some of our youngsters. And then lastly, bargain buy of the summer. This guy could be this year's, oh my word, what's the name of the defender we signed last summer? Hold on. Ripert. This is what happens when I have my weekends off and don't touch the game. I forget who I've signed. This guy could be this summer's Ripert. Only cost us £3.9 million. Carlos Centurion, 22-year-old Argentinian under-20 international. He's a central midfielder, 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential ability. Has come straight in with a value of £23 million. And in theory, if we assume Esteban's going to be playing as an attacking midfielder, he's now our 3rd best central midfielder. Rodrigo's gone back to Manchester City. We haven't kept him on loan for this season. So Centurions kind of comes in as a replacement for him with Scholes in there as well. And I think that's a pretty good summer. There are still clubs in for Vujicic constantly. Another 3 offers have been turned down there. So I'm trying to keep hold of Vujicic. The Dynamics situation, we have a few players who want to leave. Nuhu has asked to leave. I think we're going to have to get to the point where if we get another big offer for Nuhu, we might have to let him go. Just as a team leader, we don't want him to wreck our dynamics. Kieran Kerr wants a new contract. I asked my director of football to do it, and he's messed it up massively. Don't get your director of football to do contracts, kids. So as soon as we get the opportunity, we'll offer Kieran Kerr a better contract as well. But Charlie Jones wants to go to Man United. We've agreed to let him leave for a £65 million price, I think. Did it say it on here somewhere? I'm pretty sure it was £65 million. They've offered 30 million so far, and we turned it down, and he was fine. But we've also got Nuhu wanting to go to Chelsea. Joksimovic wants to go to a stronger squad as well. So we've got a few potential issues here that we need to keep an eye on. And this is how our hierarchy is looking at the moment. Nuhu, Ferguson, Wanda as our top scorers. We did turn down a £30 million bid from a Chinese club for Wanda. He didn't want to go. He was fine. So we've got away with it a little bit, and Scholes has come in as an influential player, which is exactly what we needed him to do. So, money-wise, we're sorted. We've got loads. We've got money to spend still. And the pre-season expectations, if we can go to season preview, media are expecting a 7th place finish. We're gonna get into the Champions League again. We might even win the league. Who knows? The board, and we did have another transfer embargo this summer as well, so I'm quite impressed we've managed to get the business done, because the board, and it was another takeover that fell through, but the board are looking for, where's competition, performance, Premier League, they want us to qualify for the Europa League, which is nice. But the board are actively looking to sell. That's the last 2 transfer windows now. A significant chunk of it have been taken up with takeover nonsense that has fallen through. So hopefully it doesn't happen for a 3rd time. But let's get into the Community Shield. That's what it's all about today. This is the team that we're putting out there to take on Man City. So we're going to have a look at some of these new faces. We've got Vujicic in goal, a back four of Joksimovic, Brodic, Ripert and Cutler. You'll notice I have done no business on our goalkeeper and defence at all this summer. I don't think we need to. I think our goalkeeper and back four, and even backups in all of those positions, the 10 people who are responsible for us not conceding goals, I think they're all good enough. I don't think we need to replace any of them. We need to keep an eye on Ferguson and Diofim because they're both 33 years old. This is probably going to be a final season for them both. So if we can find a good youngster or a couple of good youngsters at centre-back who we can bring in maybe before the window closes, maybe in January, then we'll do that. But I think that, as a back four and goalkeeper, that'll be us for the next 5 years now. I don't see any reason why we change that unless one of those players leaves or we bring in a youngster who comes through and is even better. In midfield, we've got Wanda, Centurion and Caminero, and you can see Centurion straight away being tutored by Scholes because that's what Scholes has come in for. They're both Argentinian, I think. Yeah, they are both Argentinian, so he's got an Argentinian legend tutoring him. What that just, it looks like I planned it. In actual fact, I signed Scholes first, but it's the perfect tutor that we could possibly have for Centurion. If he can turn into a player who can go and get 99 caps for Argentina himself, we've got a superstar there, along with Caminero and Wanda. Looks like a very, very solid midfield three now. Esteban, Nuhu, Fernandez, Maestra, they're all options there. They can all also play back here if they need to. And Ashley Hayes really is our only backup in midfield. We've still got Kovacevic, but he's not really progressing. He's still in the squad because he's now homegrown. But realistically, he's probably done. I think he's not progressed as much as we'd like. Hayes is first reserve as a natural central midfielder. And after Hayes, it is just move attacking midfielders back because we've got so many of them. And then up front today, we're going with Alonso and Jones. Really, because I just want to have a look at Alonso. And he's a natural complete forward. So I'll have a look at him alongside Jones. We'll probably bring Kerr on for Jones during the match so that we can have a look at Alonso along with Kerr as well. But we want to have a good solid look at Alonso. We're going to get Maestra on during the game as well, so we want to have a look at him. And we're also keeping an eye on Esteban and Centurion to see how well they play. Esteban obviously has a reason to want to have a good game today because his career has very much suffered in the last certainly 3 or 4 years. When he first arrived at Man City, he was actually playing games. But for the last 2 years, I don't think he's made a single league appearance for City. So he's massively fallen down the pecking order there. So I would imagine he's going to want to come out here today and score a hat-trick to show them what they've wasted. But it could be that their manager was right and he's rubbish. In which case, we just move him down the pecking order to 4th place. And we still have Nuhu, Fernandez and Maestra, who are perfectly good enough. And obviously with both Maestra particularly can play up front. Nuhu we know can as well. But we do have the option, if the new striker doesn't work out, or if Jokic ends up being used. So the reason I've got so many attacking midfielders is because I'm not averse to doing a 4-3-2-1 or even a 4-2-3-1, or, you know, there's different options to get these attacking midfielders into the team. I think we've now got the quality to be a little bit more flexible with tactics, which we were doing last year. We played the 4-3-2-1 quite a lot last year with Nuhu alongside Erhan or alongside Fernandez. McAllister even played every now and again, but we all know Jim McAllister let us down, and that is a cracking save from Vujicic. Goodness me. And good. The bin. I've been sat here for 2 hours just faffing about doing nothing, and now I finally start recording a video and the bin men turn up. Of course they do. It's not even bin day. I don't know what they're doing out there. If I talk too loud, they might come and bang on the garage door and we're doing this. Sorry, sir. Didn't mean to upset you. But hopefully they're not making too much background noise. You probably can't hear them at all. And now you think I'm a lunatic. 0-0 at half-time. Man City have obviously controlled the game because they're Man City. They did win everything last year, including the Champions League. They are going to be a difficult team to topple over the next couple of seasons to get that Champions League win before the end of this save. And realistically, that is what we're looking towards. Now, I think we can definitely fit 2 seasons in, sticking to our normal schedule. If this season starts badly, expect to see weekend episodes starting again this week, because then that'll be my cue that actually this might take 3 seasons. So we'll go back to adding in the weekends as well before the FM18 beta comes out. But I do really, really want to do it. I want to win the Champions League. Right, let's make those substitutions we had pre-planned. So have a look at the Maestra coming on for Esteban, who wasn't particularly special, was he? And we want Kerr on for Jones, so we can see Kerr alongside Alonso, because Alonso, being a natural complete forward, obviously gives us the opportunity to play Kerr a little bit further forward, which you've all been shouting at me to do for like 2 seasons. There you go. He's playing there now. It does mean sacrificing Jones, but at the back of my mind, I'm thinking Man United might still take Jones off us before the next episode. Right, let's get Nuhu on as well. Who, by the way, Nuhu news, he is now a natural central midfielder as well. So he's 27. I know we all think he's a hero because of these seasons that he had, and obviously he was. That season in particular, he single-handedly kept us in the Premier League. Was it that season? No, it was that one when he came in on loan, and then he was even better the next year. He has been a superstar for us, but last year, and I know what you're going to say, he only started 20 games, and and a lot of them he was playing in central midfield, so I was obviously just nullifying him a little bit, but I think we had a better option last year, and we might have better options this year, but we now have the option to just bring Nuhu on in midfield, because he's natural there, and we're going to bring on Hayes as well, because there's no point keeping Wander on for the whole game. And shall we bring on... we'll give it 5 minutes and change both the fullbacks, because I think we can make 6 substitutions in the Community Shield. So give both the fullbacks 15 minutes as well. So Sanchez can come on for Coupler, and Sretenovic on for Joksimovic. I don't think we can make the 7th substitution. I think we learnt that last time we played in the Community Shield. I'd love to bring Oliveira on as well to give him 10 minutes at Wembley, but it doesn't seem like that's going to happen. Shall we try? There's a penalty shootout coming potentially. Can we get Oliveira on? No. It would have been fun to let him do the penalties, but apparently not. This has been... I mean, I know the Community Shield isn't always the most exciting game in the history of football, but goodness me, have we even had a highlight until right now? Hayes plays it forward towards absolutely no, and this has been the best highlight of the game. City are going to come and score here. Nuhu misses the tackle in midfield because he's Nuhu. Obviously, he's going to do that, and there is the goal from City. I think in the 89th minute, that is the first highlight we've seen in the entire game. I certainly don't remember. I think, no, Vujicic made a save in the first half. I vaguely remember that. We've not had an attacking highlight in this entire game, I don't think. We wanted to look at Esteban, we wanted to look at Alonso, but actually we've not really seen either of them anywhere near the ball. So I guess the positive we can take for this is we have kept things tight against the best team in the world by a gazillion miles. We've looked like the second best team today, because hopefully we're the second best team in the world. We're not yet, but at least we're in the Champions League this year, and we've still got time to spend some money. Let me know down in the comments what I should spend my £18 million on. Obviously, there's no point naming players because we're 22 years in the future. So they're all retired. But what position, based on what you've just seen, what you were seeing towards the end of last season, what position do I still need to strengthen? I've got half a mind to go out and buy a 23-year-old centre-back and ship off either Ferguson or Diothin, because we don't need them both sat in the reserves. But they are handy for tutoring. But then I'm also thinking maybe a 4th proper striker, or maybe we just keep it all aside for January. Let me know down in the comments what you would do. But if you have enjoyed that video today, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.